A Silent Voice by Naoko Yamada is a film that captures many people's attention throughout the globe. Its stunning visuals and amazing plot have touched the hearts of many fans. In A Silent Voice, we meet a pair of grade school students named Shoya Ishida and Shoku Nishimiya. The girl, who is impaired hearing, has just transferred to Ishida's grade school and is hoping to make new friends who will accept her. She carries a notebook around with her as a way to communicate with others, but they find this inconvenient and annoying, so they ignore her completely. While in grade school, she continuously gets tormented and left out by some of her classmates, especially Ishida. She attempts to become friends with him, but instead of accepting her, he rejects her and his bullying strategies seem to increase. While in grade school, she continuously gets tormented and left out by some of her classmates, especially Ishida. She attempts to become friends with him, but instead of accepting her, he rejects her and his bullying strategies seem to increase. Ishida goes as far as calling her names, making fun of the way she reads, throwing her notebook in the fountain, and even damaging at least 8 of her aides. None of Ishida's friends intervene with this act of bullying until he gets called out by his teacher in front of the whole class and the principal. Fast forward a couple years, and now we've met with a bit more quiet but anxious Ishida. Ever since he got in trouble for bullying Nishima back in grade school, his friends have been distancing themselves from him since they don't want to ruin their reputation as well. Ever since every one of his friends abandoned him, Ishida's now been isolated himself, and he seems to have fallen into depression. Ishida's classmates have been excluding him ever since his friends exposed his past of bullying. Just like he did to Nishimiya, his classmates called him names and never tried to associate with him, and because of this, Ishida had been contemplating suicide. Ishida makes up a calendar with tasks he wants to complete before ending it all, and one of those tasks is giving Nishimiya her notebook back from grade school. He plans to do this when he sees Nishima again, but when they're face to face with each other, his plans seem to change when he asks her to be friends. In A Silent Voice, Yamada was able to touch upon multiple topics such as physical disabilities, bullying, suicidal thoughts, friendship, forgiveness, and much more. Some topics that are shown a lot at the beginning of the film depict the struggles of bullying and having disabilities. Nishimiya continuously got bullied at school by Ishida because she was hard of hearing, which is quite a big struggle for her. Many people with disabilities might grow up getting bullied because they seem to be different.
Yamada was able to touch upon this subject by using Nishimiya as an example of the struggles many with disabilities might go through. Yamada was able to direct a fantastic movie that talked about the struggles some might face in the world, which is why critics praised it so much. This film might be a bit of an emotional roller coaster, but honestly, it's definitely worth watching. Everything about this film is outstanding, from the visuals to the voiceovers and even the soundtrack. Yamada did an excellent job directing this film. Everything came out absolutely perfectly. Kensuke Ushio is the composer of A Silent Voice's tracklist, which included many emotional and breathtaking melodies. Ushio was able to use these pieces of music to convey the complex emotions that the characters were feeling, such as happiness, sadness, and guilt. The music was able to blend the movie scenes so well that it seems to be able to leave a deeper impression in the viewer's heart. The 2 tracks that have been engraved in my mind are Lit and Your Silent Portrait. When it comes to casting voice actors, Yamada did an amazing job of choosing each character's actor, especially with the 2 leads. The actors were able to convey such strong emotions with their voice acting. Whether it was a serious, happy, or suspenseful scene, the voice actors did an amazing job controlling their voices. When producing a film, a thing many writers have to keep in mind is the diversity in personalities, since no viewer wants to see a carbon copy of another. All the characters in A Silent Voice seem to have different personalities from each other, but they were all able to mesh well together. On the other hand, character development was a flaw the film seemed to struggle with. Many of the characters didn't seem to develop throughout the film, except for Ishida. Some characters didn't seem to have such an impactful role like others, which made them look like some random extras who'd appear on screen from time to time. Ishida seems to have developed more throughout the film than the others. In grade school, it seems as if Ishida didn't care about other people's feelings, but instead, he cared more about the way people perceived him. As he grew up, he He stopped caring about what others thought of him, and instead he became more isolated. After meeting Nishimiya again, he was starting to become more considerate of other people and their emotions. After all the struggle he went through, he was able to see other people as individuals, and he finally accepted himself as well. Nishimiya was one of the characters who had very few character development. Throughout the whole movie, she was always known as the nice girl or outcast to some. It seems as if the producers attempted to give her characters a bit of depth by making Nishimiya sad, but other than that, she seemed to have no actual character development, which is a shame. All in all, A Silent Voice is an extraordinary film that'll surely capture many people's attention. I'd recommend this movie to just about anyone because the plot seems to have caught many people's attention just like it did with me.